You're living in chains, invisible, weightless, and yet more powerful than any prison made of stone and steel. They're the chains of your own emotions, and you are a slave.
A slave to the flash of anger that hijacks your reason. A slave to the wave of anxiety that drowns your ambition. A slave to the quiet whisper of fear that dictates your decisions. That keeps you small, that keeps you safe, that keeps you trapped in a life that is a fraction of the one you were born to live.
You have been told that this is just being human, that to feel is to be alive. But there is a vast, unbridgeable chasm between feeling an emotion and being ruled by it. And the reason most people fail, the reason they live lives of quiet frustration and unfulfilled potential, is because they have unknowingly abdicated the throne of their own mind and handed the crown to the most fickle, most irrational, and most destructive tyrants imaginable, their own untamed feelings. Today, we lead a rebellion, a revolution to overthrow these tyrants, a declaration of independence for the sovereign soul. The first truth you must understand is this: your emotions are not you. They are events. They are biochemical storms that rage through your body. They are ancient, primitive survival signals. They are visitors, but you have mistaken them for the king. You have given them the keys to your kingdom, and they are burning it to the ground. The person who cuts you off in traffic does not have the power to make you angry. They have only the power to drive their car. You are the one who chooses to convert that neutral event into the poison of rage. The criticism from your boss does not have the power to make you feel worthless. It is only words. You are the one who chooses to interpret those words as a verdict on your own value. This is the great secret of the masters of history, of the Stoics, of the titans of industry. They understood that the ultimate power in life is the power to choose your own response. Between the stimulus, the event, and the outside world, in your response, there is a space. A sacred, silent, and infinitely powerful space. In that space lies your freedom. The masses collapse this space. For them, stimulus and response are one and the same. They're a nerve ending, a chemical reaction, a puppet on a string. But the master, the architect, the untouchable mind lives in that space. They cultivate it, they expand it, and in that quiet moment of choice, they dissolve the chains of emotional slavery.
This is not a gift you are born with. It is a discipline you must forge. It is a muscle you must build. It begins with the act of awareness, of becoming a detached, scientific observer of your own inner world. When the wave of anger rises, you do not become the anger. You observe it. You say, anger is here. You feel its heat, its energy, but you do not identify with it. You are the sky. It is merely a passing storm cloud. The sky is not bothered by the storm. The storm is simply an event happening within the vast, unshakable expanse of the sky. This is your true nature. You are the sky. You are the calm, silent awareness behind the noisy chaos of your own emotions. And to reclaim this power, you must have a purpose that is greater than your feelings. Your emotions are obsessed with the present moment, with immediate gratification, with safety, and with comfort. Your purpose, your great vision, is concerned with the future, with growth, with the person you are becoming. And you must decide who is on the throne: the short-sighted, terrified, and reactive court jester of your emotions, or the far-seeing, courageous, and sovereign king of your own chosen destiny. When your purpose is clear, it becomes the ultimate anchor in any emotional storm. The fear of failure still comes, but it is a small, manageable wave crashing against the great stone sea wall of your mission. The temptation of distraction still appears, but it is a flickering candle in the blazing sun of your ambition. Your purpose gives you a reason to endure the discomfort of discipline, to override the siren song of your own weakness. A life without a clear, definite purpose is a life of guaranteed emotional slavery, because without a why to guide you, you will always fall victim to the how you feel right now. You will be a slave to your moods, a cork tossed on the ocean of your own internal weather. But with a purpose, you become the weather maker. You become the captain who uses the wind of his own emotions, no matter how wild, to steer his ship toward the one harbor that matters. That purpose is your harbor. But to reach it, you must become a master of your vessel. You must learn to navigate the violent, unpredictable, and treacherous seas of your own inner world. And this requires a new kind of training, a new and ruthless form of discipline. This is the daily work. It is the practice of the pause. When the stimulus arrives, the insult, the setback, the fear, the slave reacts instantly. The chain is pulled, the knee jerks. But the sovereign, the free mind, creates a space, a sacred moment. In that moment, they do not let the emotion become master. They put the emotion in the witness box, and they begin to question it. You must become the grand inquisitor of your own feelings. You feel a surge of anger. You pause. You ask, what is the story I am telling myself right now that is creating this anger? Is it true? You feel a wave of fear. You pause. You ask, is this a real and present danger, or is this the ghost of a past pain, a phantom of a future that does not exist? This is the art of separating the event from the story. The event is neutral. It is a fact, but the story you weave around that fact is your choice. And it is the story, not the event, that causes your suffering. The slave is a prisoner of their story. The master is the author of it. By questioning your emotions, by challenging your own narrative, you are taking back the pen. You are reclaiming the power to write your own meaning. Consider the life of Nelson Mandela, a man who had every reason to be consumed by the fire of hatred. 27 years. 27 years stolen from him, spent in a brutal prison for fighting for the freedom of his people. Imagine the bitterness. Imagine the rage. He was a victim of a monstrous injustice. And yet, when he walked out of that prison, he was not a man burning with a desire for revenge. He was a man filled with a vision for reconciliation. How? Because in the long, silent, and brutal years in that cell, he mastered this art. He understood that while his jailers could chain his body, they could not chain his mind. He used those years not to fuel his hatred, but to understand his enemy, and to understand himself. He separated the stimulus, the brutal reality of his imprisonment, from his response. He chose forgiveness over bitterness. He chose statesmanship over vengeance. He refused to become a slave to the hatred that his circumstances invited. And in that choice, he became one of the most powerful and respected leaders the world has ever known. He did not just free a nation, he first freed himself. This is the strength you must cultivate, and you do not build it in the heat of battle. You build it in the quiet of your daily training. You must practice what the Stoics call the premeditation of evils. You must rehearse for difficulty. You must, in the calm of your mind, visualize the challenges that are to come. See the difficult conversation. See the potential failure. See the criticism. Feel the emotional storm that these events might trigger. And then, in the safety of your own mind, you practice your response. You practice the pause. You practice the questioning. You practice choosing a calm, wise, and powerful reaction. This is not pessimism. This is strategic preparation. It is an emotional fire drill. When the real fire comes, you will not panic because you have run the drill 100 times before. You have built the mental muscle memory of composure. You have made resilience your default setting. And you must become a student of yourself. You must learn your own patterns. You must know your own triggers. What are the situations, the people, the thoughts that consistently hijack your emotional state? You must study them, not with judgment, but with a detached curiosity of scientists. This self-awareness is the map that will allow you to navigate the treacherous waters of your own psyche. It allows you to anticipate the storms, to prepare for them, and to use their energy rather than be broken by it. You have the map. You have the training regimen. You have the philosophy. And now you have the choice. This is the final, unshakable truth. The chains of your emotional slavery were never forged by the world. They were forged in the fires of your own unconscious reactions. The prison was never built by your circumstances. It was built by your own lack of awareness. And the key to your freedom is not in changing the world. It is, and has always been, in your own hands. To be the master of your emotions is not to be emotionless. It is to be the king in a kingdom of wild and powerful forces. A foolish king is a slave to his advisors, a slave to his court, a slave to every whisper of gossip and threat of rebellion. But a wise king listens to all, but is ruled by none. He takes the passionate advice of his warrior, the cautious counsel of his spy master, but the final command comes from him and him alone. It is a command guided by one thing: the long-term vision for prosperity of his kingdom. You are the king. Your emotions are your advisors. Your purpose is your vision for the kingdom. You must learn to honor the energy of your advisors, but you must never, ever let them take the crown. This is the path to true power, a quiet, unshakable, internal power that the world cannot touch. It is the power to be calm in the midst of chaos. It is the power to be gracious in the face of hostility. It is the power to make wise, deliberate decisions when everyone else is panicking. It is the power that commands not the attention, but the respect of everyone you meet. This is the end of your slavery. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, in this moment, with the very next stimulus that life throws at you, the next provocation is coming. The next wave of fear is on the horizon. The next temptation of anger is waiting. Who will you be when it arrives? The puppet, whose strings are pulled by every passing event, or the master who lives with profound and unbreakable peace in the sacred space of their own conscious choice? Stop being a slave to your emotions. Pick up your scepter and rule.